Good morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jake Stevenson.
And welcome to your Monday Keeper Quick, your latest local news and weather commercial free in about 23 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather because we had a little bit of shower activity on Sunday, making things a little wet for those folks that were competing in the Ironman race this weekend. And a lot of folks saw a couple of raindrops here and there. As we head into the start of the work week, though, are we expecting to see any of that rain linger around?
No, not at all. That rain has fully passed off to the east, and now we're in a dry period along with some haze. You can see that this morning. This was the view of the Tri-Cities from the Tri-Cities webcam. We had a lot of haze filter into the Tri-Cities from wildfires in Idaho, but in the Yakima Valley, which is also seeing a lot of haze today, that haze is coming more so from fires in the Cascades. So we have a lot of smoke, but coming from different sources. You can see here on the water vapor map that blue and white was the areas where we had widespread rain on Sunday, but then now we are entering into a drier period. Taking a look now at the weather headlines for our day, though, we're going to be widespread haze today, as I mentioned, and then highs in the 70s for our Monday afternoon, and then beyond that, sunshine throughout the work week ahead.
Thanks, Jake. We begin this morning in Walla Walla. Police are investigating the death of a man who had been stabbed and beaten. Police were called out to Whitman Court Apartments in the 300 block of Ash Street, where they found a 73-year-old man with a knife in his back. He had also been severely beaten and died at the scene. Witnesses told police they saw a man fleeing from the apartment, and deputies from the Walla Walla County Sheriff's Office found the man nearby and arrested him without incident. He's been identified as a 38-year-old man from Ephrata, and he's now facing first-degree murder and robbery charges. Detectives, though, are still working to determine a motive for the murder, and the victim's name isn't being released until all of his family has been notified. And a Yakima man has been arrested for allegedly holding a woman at gunpoint Thursday night. According to preliminary documents, police were called to the Crumble Cookie on West Nob Hill Boulevard just before 10 p.m. Now, the call specified that a woman was being held down by gunpoint, and the man who held her at gunpoint told officers that his wife and he were at Crumble to pick up an order when the woman approached their vehicle and began to fight with his wife. The man went on to say he tried to get in between the two to break up the altercation, but eventually pulled the gun on the woman to rescue his wife. The man was taken into custody after probable cause was found for assault in the second degree. Kennewick police say a potential threat against Kennewick High School was stopped with the help of the FBI. They say it started late Friday night when a patrol sergeant was alerted after federal agents in Seattle received social media reports of possible violence at the school. On Saturday, detectives launched a full investigation alongside the FBI and quickly identified a juvenile suspect living in the Kennewick area. That evening, officers and deputies arrested the teen at his home, and a search warrant turned up evidence tied to the threats, and police say the family cooperated with investigators. That teen is now in custody at the Juvenile Justice Center, facing charges that include attempted assault, felony harassment, and making bomb threats. Franklin County Sheriff's Office deputies say a traffic stop over the weekend on Road 170 near Ranger Drive led to much more than a DUI investigation. The driver was pulled over for failing to maintain speed and lane, and deputies say their instincts quickly paid off. After removing the driver from the vehicle, investigators developed probable cause for unlawful possession of a firearm. A search warrant later revealed a loaded gun inside the car, which was confirmed stolen out of Kennewick. The driver is now booked on charges including DUI, having a loaded pistol in a vehicle, and possession of a stolen firearm. A man with more than 2,000 fentanyl pills in his car in Kittitas County is now heading to prison. Ryan Paul Kent pled guilty to charges of possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver and unlawful possession of a firearm in the second degree. He was caught last summer after crashing his car on Interstate 90 heading towards Mount Vernon. He was given the maximum sentence of 60 months in prison. And a man is in custody after State Patrol says he tried to run from them on a motorcycle. According to troopers, they saw the man fly down Interstate 182, passing other cars, estimating his speed at over 100 miles an hour. When troopers tried to pull the man over, they say he took off and turned into a Pasco neighborhood near Robinson Elementary. Eventually, troopers found the man pushing his motorcycle through the neighborhood, but he dropped it and hopped a fence. Pasco police responded to the scene and helped bring the man into custody. He faces charges for driving with a suspended license, and fleeing, as well as reckless driving. And a woman is dead after a man crashed into her car in Grant County yesterday. According to Washington State Patrol, just before 1:30 p.m., a 71-year-old Grapeview man was traveling south on State Route 283 when he drove across the center line and hit 48-year-old Jessica White, who was heading north. The man's car came to a rest, blocking the roadway, and troopers say the 71-year-old man and 2 others were injured. White died at the scene, and the cause of the crash is still under investigation. Charges, though, are pending for the 71-year-old driver. A crash out of Mapton left 1 injured Friday morning. State Patrol reported a vehicle was heading south on State Route 241 and was approaching the intersection of State Route 22 when the driver failed to yield. The vehicle struck another in the intersection, and the driver of the second vehicle was injured and taken to Estrella Sunnyside Hospital for treatment. The driver of the first vehicle was charged with failure to yield the right-of-way and driving with a suspended license. And a man is fighting for his life after he rolled an ATV Saturday morning in Pasco. It happened just west of the intersection of Burns Road and Convention Drive a little after 11 a.m. The Pasco Fire Department responded to the scene and rushed the man to the hospital, where he remains in critical condition. Authorities haven't said what led to the crash, but it appears no other vehicles were involved. And on to continuing coverage this morning. New details are emerging about how investigators located the presumed remains of Travis Decker, ending the 3-month manhunt for the alleged killer of 3 young sisters. King 5's Alex McClune has the details.
Time will tell if the human remains found on the mountainside of the Cascades belong to Travis Decker.
This was not in an area that we had already searched.
The skilled military veteran has been on the run from Sheriff Mike Morrison all summer long.
If we hadn't found Mr. Decker during this search, we were going to continue the same next month in another area and continue to push out.
A drone delivered the breakthrough for the FBI and Border Patrol in the woods just south of Leavenworth. It captured images of a t-shirt Decker was known to wear just 3/4 of a mile from where he abandoned his truck and where his daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, were found dead of asphyxiation. A team rappelled out of a helicopter to cut their way through grass to make way for detectives.
This was off the beaten path. We were bushwhacking. We were going through to find this, and we did rappel our detectives down there just to get there more quickly. We didn't want to spend 3 hours hiking back up to it. It still took them over an hour to hike out.
Crews aren't congratulating each other just yet. A medical examiner must conclude a cause of death.
Travis was still a human being. I don't agree with the acts that he's accused of doing, and I want to make sure, though, that he's still given the respect he deserves. If something happened to him that wasn't natural or that we can explain, we're going to do another investigation.
And switching gears, we've been hearing a lot about some recent job losses at Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, and we reached out to the operator of PNNL, Battelle, and they sent us the following statement. It says, quote, Battelle recently eliminated some vacant positions and offered a voluntary separation option for 2 staff in certain operational areas. Unfortunately, the necessary number of volunteers was not achieved. So Battelle has made the difficult decision to move forward with a limited number of involuntary separations. We are grateful for the contributions of each employee impacted. PNNL remains committed on delivering the missions of the Department of Energy and other sponsors. Now, no specifics about exactly how many employees or what their jobs were disclosed by Battelle. And the president of the Association of Washington Business says the state is becoming unaffordable for families and businesses. KIMA's Aiden Connor tells us why business leaders believe the state's economy could use some reconstruction.
Chris Johnson says that on all accounts, Washington state is at an all-time low economically.
Gas prices at record highs. Housing affordability really, really low. Home prices, first-time home prices really high. Maybe the longest time ever needed to save enough money for down payment to put 20% down on a home if you would like to be a homeowner.
Johnson credits the state's tax burden for making employment and job creation increasingly more difficult.
The biggest issue impacting job creators, employers throughout their community, employers through Yakima, through Eastern Washington and Western Washington, is the fact that the tax burden remains the biggest issue facing them. It's up like 6 percentage points just in the last 90 days.
Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson passed a significant tax increase in May that expanded sales tax, increased rates for business and operations tax, and more. Johnson says that the legislation plays a large role in the state's financial challenges.
We went in the wrong direction earlier this year when the legislature passed the largest tax increase in state history. And they passed that largest tax increase in state history, recognizing that we now today have the highest fuel costs in the country, again, having some of the highest housing costs in the country, some of the lowest new company formations in the country. Like, we have some big challenges as a state.
For Johnson, the goal is simple.
One, and if there's only one line you take from this, you can't make Washington more affordable for every Washingtonian by making it more expensive. You can't make Washington more affordable by having the highest housing costs in the country. You can't make Washington more affordable by having the highest energy costs in the country. We can't make Washington more affordable by making it harder to start a company, keep a business, and grow a company here.
Johnson says that lawmakers need to grow the economy as opposed to taxing even more. Reporting for Action News, I'm Aiden Connor.
Aiden Connor, thank you. And according to data provided by Chris Johnson, Washington is the 5th least affordable state to buy a home and ranks 42nd in the country for business friendliness. And Hope Source, a social services group in Kittitas County, is working to provide affordable housing. They held a grand opening for their newest complex, Addison Place Apartments, I should say, is on South Pearl Street, just off Main Street in Ellensburg. It's what leaders with Hope Source describe as a safe and stable option for those looking to live in downtown.
Well, Hope Source believes that affordability does not have to mean substandard housing. It can be clean, safe, and beautiful. And this place is a visible example of dignity in housing.
The project is a collaboration between Hope Source, the city of Ellensburg, and Kittitas County, and has a mission statement of providing lower-income neighbors with the opportunity of experiencing the downtown lifestyle. And with that, let's jump right over to meteorologist Jake Stevenson. Jake, we had a little bit of rain on Sunday. Not a whole lot to write home about the days earlier or hopefully the days after.
Yeah, not really. We're looking at today, high temperatures in the 70s, and then we're going to be warming up a little bit over the next couple of days. But other than some patchy haze today, we're going to be looking at sunshine and seasonable temperatures for the next couple of days. Here are our high temperatures for today across the eastern half of our viewing region. We will be in the mid 70s for most folks. Richland will be the warm spot at 77. Walla Walla will be 74 and Pendleton 73. Let's take a look at the western half of our viewing area. 77 in Toppenish will be the warm spot in Yakima County today. 75 in Yakima itself and 74 in Ellensburg and Goldendale this afternoon. Overnight tonight and into tomorrow, our low temperatures will be dipping down into the brisk conditions. 42 in the Tri-Cities, 50 in Walla Walla and Milton Freewater, 46 in Pendleton, and as we move into the Yakima County, 42 in Sunnyside, 43 in Yakima, and 42 in Ellensburg tomorrow morning. Now, it is the first day of astronomical fall today, and let's take a look at that fall foliage map. Across the west side, patchy color is being seen, but in the Cascades, we're starting to see some of that moderate foliage come into play, and even some near peak conditions in those higher elevations. So if you are a fall lover and want to go and see some foliage, starting now and over the next several weeks is going to be the peak time for seeing some of those pretty colors. Now, as we take a look at the pressure map, we can see that over the next 2 days, we're going to be building into a warm ridge throughout our region. On Wednesday is when we're expecting the warmest point of the ridge. But as we move into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the trough won't really be coming into our region, but the ridge will be flattening out and some cooler conditions will return to our region, more seasonable conditions in those 70-degree ranges. Before that happens, though, we're going to be seeing a lot of smoke enter our region. The Idaho wildfires especially, but also the Cascade wildfires have been producing a lot of smoke over the last 24 hours, and shifts in the winds are pushing that smoke into our region. This is 8 p.m. on Monday, and you can see there is a lot of smoke around our region, especially in Umatilla County. Overnight Monday and into Tuesday, more smoke comes into our region from Idaho and starts to disperse around our region as well, such that as we move through the day on Tuesday, although there won't be any areas of extremely thick smoke, there will be a pretty moderate blanket of smoke for most folks. Let's take a look now at our 7-day forecast in Ellensburg. 73 and hazy on Monday today, 79 and sunny tomorrow, and that sunshine sticks around through Thursday. 84 on Wednesday will be the high for the week, and then by Friday we cool back into the mid-70s. In Walla Walla, 74 and hazy today, 81 and sunny tomorrow. Wednesday will be the warmest day of the week at 85 and sunny. And then by Thursday and Friday, we start to cool off and introduce some clouds next weekend. In Yakima, 74 and hazy today, 79 and sunny tomorrow. Wednesday will be the warm spot at 85, and then we cool off as we head into the weekend. And last but not least, the Tri-Cities. Hazy and 74 today, 81 and sunny tomorrow. Sunshine sticks around through Thursday and even into Friday. And then by Friday, some passing clouds start to re-enter into our region as we cool into the high 70s and low 80s by the end of the work week.
Thanks, Jake. On to some election news this morning. Secretary of State Steve Hobbs visited the Tri-Cities to talk with local leaders ahead of the upcoming election. We were able to catch up with him at the Franklin County Courthouse and ask him about voters' personal information and election security. Recently, the Department of Justice requested all Washington state voter info, including personal details. And the secretary says there's no reason to give any of that up.
We do provide public information, but it's the restricted information that they're requesting is a little bit problematic. So it includes your driver's license number, the last four of your social security number, your full birth date, your phone number, and your email address.
Now, Hobbs says he doesn't plan on turning any of that personal information over, and we also asked him about election security after President Trump indicated he wants to get rid of mail-in voting.
Look, Washington State has been doing vote by mail for a very long time. Republicans are the ones that actually push by vote by mail. If you have questions about it, I get it, because we haven't done a very good job of telling the public that, you know, your vote is secure.
Hobbs says there are countless checks before your vote is counted to ensure that it's legitimate. He encourages you to contact your county auditor to learn more about the process. Switching gears, the Sun Fair Parade found its way back through the streets of downtown Yakima over the weekend. Thousands of spectators lined Yakima Avenue Saturday for more than a mile to see the nearly 200 entries. Marching bands playing music, dance studios twisting and shouting, and the community all able to gather and celebrate the Central Washington State Fair. All this while candy flooded the streets and children chased after. And speaking of the fair, that big event now running until September 28th. The KIMA team went over to the fairgrounds to check out everything that's happening and this year, as well as trying some of those new rides and food. Take a look at the team's report.
Reporting live from the Central Washington State Fair, I'm Aiden Connor. I'm getting a call from my producer. What's up, Zach?
Hey, and so we're back here at the station, and sorry, I'm going to need you to do me a solid here. I need you to find Austin.
Well, where is he?
No, that's the thing. That's what the new guy's got to find out, huh?
Well, with all these fun activities and games, the fair isn't the worst place to be lost, I guess. One of these prizes has to catch Austin's eye. Well, I thought Austin could have made his way to the Ag Building for the State Fair Wine Garden. He did host Wine Time this week. I thought he may have taken a liking to wine. Well, I guess I'll check somewhere else. Well, I know Austin's a big fan of fair food, especially funnel cakes. It's a shock that he's not here. Oh, maybe he's trying some samples over there.
Come to Papa.
Austin, I've been looking for you.
Took you long enough. I got all this amazing fair food right here. I got some ribs, some chips, some hot dogs, and some lemonade, and a whole lot more. Come have a seat.
Wow, looks like I'll have to go try some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wait, did you hear that? I think I just heard the Johns.
Well, that was fun.
That was amazing.
Howard, do you have to scream so much?
I didn't scream.
Are you sure? I mean, I have 2 eardrums and you just burst one of them.
You were screaming.
No, I
was fine.
wasn't.
It wasn't that scary.
I was laughing. You were just screaming like you
I
just
think
saw a
you were
horror movie.
screaming.
No, I wasn't.
It wasn't that frightening.
It absolutely wasn't
Why would I
frightening
be
at all. I
screaming?
don't know why you were screaming.
Well,
it was,
look, I mean,
it's just a little bit up and down. I mean,
well, you know, I heard you screaming.
That looks riveting, guys. Thank you. And switching gears, the Tri-Cities took center stage yesterday as the highly anticipated Ironman 70.3 triathlon raced through. For the second year in a row, athletes hit the Columbia River for the swim, biked through wine country, and finished with a half marathon run along local streets and trails. Luke Krieger led the way for the men, not only finishing first, but setting a new course record at 3 hours, 51 minutes, and 44 seconds. Over on the women's side, Emma McDonald claimed the top spot, crossing the line in 4 hours, 31 minutes, and 24 seconds. Now, thousands of fans lined the course, turning the event into both a world-class race and a community celebration. Meanwhile, one of the largest events in the Tri-Cities came back over the weekend, celebrating its 49th year. We're talking Christ the King Sausage Fest. It's an annual tradition welcoming thousands of people to the Catholic school, where there were carnival games, performances, and a variety of food options, including loads of sausages.
It's just nice being able to see people here that we might not see other places. Like friends that don't go to school here come, and it's just fun seeing so many new faces.
Sausage Fest came to a close on Saturday, but it will be back again next year in the third weekend of September to celebrate 50 years. Hundreds of people stopped by Columbia Park in Kennewick on Saturday for the 37th annual duck race. The event benefits Rotary clubs of the Tri-Cities and even grants someone a new car. Organizers say 25,000 rubber ducks, each marked with a specific person, are dumped into the Columbia River. The top 56 ducks to cross the finish line will get prizes donated by local community businesses, including Toyota of Tri-Cities. To date, the event has raised over $3 million to support local Rotary clubs. That's a lot of bills. And it was a busy weekend in the Tri-Cities with the Ironman, Sausage Fest, and the Mid-Columbia Duck Race all happening. But an hour or so east, folks celebrated the man who helped first bring the famous Caped Crusader to the small screen. The annual Adam West Day, hosted by the Kirkman House, has been around for nearly a decade and has brought together fans of the 1960s Batman TV show to those who know him for his work on Family Guy. From bringing in a replica Batmobile to the exhibit full of items a collector would pay top dollar for, curators put in the work. Outside, vendors and big models, and there were a few Bat-themed vehicles as well as the Bat Signal. Inside, though, was an exhibit taking you behind the scenes of West's life.
Each and every time someone comes in here, they are actually taken by surprise by not only the Shakespeare bust and the opening wall to expose the Batcave, but just by the pictures of who he was as a person and just, you know, things that they can relate to in their own lives, you know, that they had in common with Adam. And I think that really touches a lot of hearts.
Aside from the photos and memorabilia, aside from the set pieces, rather, and the memorabilia, photos taken during West's 88 years were also on display, including during his schooling when his name was William Anderson. And that's what it read on his report card. His niece, Kristen, says he will always be Uncle Bill.
I was raised at the ranch, same place he was, and he would come stay with us all the time. He would leave Hollywood and pretty much hide at the ranch. And he was, I mean, at my dad's funeral, at my wedding, he's just Uncle Bill. Yeah, just a bizarre guy.
Now, the day featured a scavenger hunt, costume contest, and the lighting of a bat signal. Grant called the exhibit a wonderful place to create family memories, adding they love to introduce folks to Adam West and his legacy. And that does it for us. Thank you for watching this episode of Keeper Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our Keeper, KIMATV.com websites, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a terrific start to your work week, everybody.